Hello, my name is Andrew Gary and welcome to Seismic Sound Off, in-depth conversations in applied geophysics. Staying up to date on the latest techniques and technology is a key part of being a geophysicist. In this episode, I speak with Patricia de Lugão, who provides a helpful analysis of the benefits and uses of magnetotellurics, or MT, based on her upcoming 2020 Honorary Lecturer tour called Environment-Friendly Exploration Using MT. Patricia highlights the role of MT in geophysics and mining, discusses the advantages of this method over seismic, and spotlights how MT is ready to play a major role in renewable energy. If you are a student considering your specialization, early career wanting to stay up to date on the latest techniques, or simply like to know more about a promising tool for the future, then you are listening to the right episode. Patricia founded Strata Image Consultoria Ltda, foreseeing an interest in the new marine electromagnetic techniques that were being developed. She participated in the first marine magnetotelluric survey offshore Brazil on the Santos Basin and was instrumental in helping establish electromagnetic methods onshore and offshore in Brazil. For the full show notes and the link to Patricia's upcoming tour, visit seg.org/podcast. Now, for our conversation. Speaking of educating people, you have an upcoming honorary lecture that you're doing on behalf of the SEG, and the name of this talk is Environment-Friendly Exploration Using Magnetotellurics. Grabbed me, that title. Could you offer us just the 60-second elevator pitch of your lecture?
Okay, the magnetotelluric method, we call it actually short, MT. It's a very nice method. I like it. It's environment friendly, and that's because of the very low, or I can even say no impact on the environment, on people, and the small footprint operationally. So we can acquire MT data close to the cities, or on urbanized areas, on protected areas. I mean, there's no, we don't take down trees. We don't need to take down the vegetation. If we acquire data over plantations, things like this, like we did in Brazil, we don't harm anything. We don't destroy anything. And the MT acquisition is very easy. It requires only small crews. And the other important thing is there's no artificial source. So we're not really injecting current. We're not using any type of man-made source. We use the naturally occurring geomagnetic field of the Earth as source. So that's very nice. And we can work on a broad range of frequencies. I'm going to talk later about this. And the information that is provided is very robust. We provide a model of the resistivity of the Earth in depth, and that can map basement, faults, stratigraphy. So we deliver to the client a very nice model without making any type of impact.
Well, I like the shorthand of MT. It's a little easier. I think I'll stick with that. Looking at this environment-friendly exploration techniques, the oil and gas industry, as we all know, it's in a precarious economic time period. How does your lecture directly address this current situation the industry finds itself?
Well, I think MT can help to optimize when you do exploration in an area. Any area. It can be a very large area, like an unknown basin, small area, because it's fast and it's less expensive than other methods. And like I said, we do the acquisition. In the field, we already do the processing. And pretty much after we do the acquisition, we can already provide the client with a model of the Earth. And I think MT can help to optimize exploration workflow, because the information that we provide is an information of the resistivity in depth, like I said. And then we can integrate with other geophysical methods, other geophysical geological information, and we can help design better, more expensive surveys, like seismic and well placement. So, MT can help that. You can do an MT survey and help optimize before you go into methods that impact more, not only the environment, but on the cost. You can optimize, for example, a seismic survey.
How familiar are most geoscientists with MT?
In the oil and gas industry, in the oil and gas, right, most geoscientists work with seismic data. But in recent years, we have seen an increased interest in electromagnetic methods due to improvement in data quality, equipment, processing, interpretation. Actually, in Brazil, we have done a lot of commercial surveys for oil and gas. And the clients, actually, they were very, how can I say, happily surprised with the products, with the information that they received. So EM methods are being used more and more, both on shore and also offshore. However, in the mining industry, MT is well known and used, especially in North America and in Australia. But it's really not a large part of the geoscience that know MT, but this is changing. This is changing.
And your lecture sounds like it's going to be a great opportunity for geoscientists to get in on this method. And you had mentioned earlier that MT is even specifically suited for large areas. So what makes it specifically suited for an exploration of a large basin, let's say?
Yeah, we're gonna show examples of that, of some like large unexplored basins, and that's MT is very nice, and because it works on a large range of frequencies, and we can really easily reach depths of like tens of kilometers, reach the basement. The method's very strong to image lateral discontinuities such as faults, and the method is also very powerful. We have also examples to image below basalt covered areas, carbonates, overtrusted areas here in South America has been used along with seismic. So all these imaging possibilities coupled with low cost of acquisition and the quick processing and output of a model make MT extremely good for the exploration of basins.
What other types of environments are well suited for MT?
This is actually a nice question because we have discovered recently that MT can also be used to help the energy transition. MT has been applied for mining, for water resources, and has been largely extensively used for geothermal applications, which is a renewable resource. And recently, we also have been using it to MT to provide resistivity models for grounding projects of wind and solar farms. So this is like a recent application of the model of the method. Sorry, and I think it's very nice because in that way it's a environmental friendly method that is helping also us make this transition to the renewable energies.
What do you, it almost sounds partly what you're talking about just in that last question there, but what do you think has been the biggest success of MT to date in the geosciences?
Well, there are many success stories in mining, oil, geothermal, but I think the most important recently have been the development of instruments to work offshore, what is called a marine magnetotelluric method. It's excellent method and could be used more, I think, in deep water exploration. Also, in mining, recently we saw some very nice work to map deep sources of mineralization. So this work that was done in Australia was really nice. So I think these two, the developments of offshore magnetotellurics and the help because the mining industry also is going deeper and deeper. So the use of MT to map these deep sources, I think, also is another very nice example of the success of the method.
How do you see these techniques and case studies that you're talking about here and you'll talk about in your lecture improving the industry and the environment?
Well, I think that these cases, before they make an impact, they have to be known across the community. And the impact is, first of all, a lower cost of exploration and a better design and optimization of surveys that offer more impact, like I said before. And I think if we integrate MT, it will be a way of optimizing and lowering the cost of the surveys, and in this way, reducing the environmental impact.
You mentioned in the lecture summary that MT has mostly been seen as an academic method used for crust and mantle studies. How would you recommend attendees of your lecture approach the topic if maybe this has been their past understanding of the method?
Okay, in my talk, I will explain a little bit about the method and the broad range of frequencies that are available to use an MT. And we'll also show some real industry applications. And I'll also show how these applications were successful so that the attendees, they can see that we're not really working only at very, very low frequencies, but there is like a little bit higher range of frequencies that can be used for more commercial, industrial applications. And these were very successful. So I think when they see these real success stories, they probably would think, oh, maybe I can apply the MT method to my project. So I think it will make a difference to see real success stories in the industry.
You'd mentioned that it seems like the industry is just not coming around to MT, but just understanding its benefits. And if someone's, a student studying geophysics right now is hearing this talk, what kind of job prospects, what kind of opportunities can they expect if they really do want to explore MT as part of their career?
I see that there is a lot of opportunity. For example, recently there has been a lot of interest in electromagnetic methods in the Permian Basin to help during fracking, for example. There's also opportunities, like I said, in the mining industry, because the industry is looking for deeper and deeper targets. And the methods, the control source methods, the methods that use man-made source, they don't have this strength capability to image very deeply. Also, in the oil industry, the offshore exploration is going more and more to deep water. So you need tools like the magnetotelluric method that can reach deeper in the earth. Or also, for example, here in Brazil, we have the pre-salt, where you have large salt domes, and the fields are actually, the targets are under these huge salt domes that can be easily mapped with the magnetotelluric method. So I think there are many opportunities, and also, like I said, with the renewable energies, I think this is actually one of the things for the future, to use MT, or the higher frequency variant of the MT method, the AMT. We use higher frequencies, and that we have been using to help the design of wind and solar farms. So I'm really I'm very optimistic about the use of MT for the renewable industry, including geothermal.
What do you hope the takeaways for attendees will be of your lecture?
Well, I hope that people will realize and will recognize from the examples of, real examples that I'll show, the value of using magnetotellurics, both in the information. I think when I talk to the clients, the first thing that they want to know is like, what information is this method going to bring to me? And of course, they're looking also at the cost, right? So they look, okay, I can get information, it's within my budget, also there's a lot of concern about the environment. So all these things, I think there are lots of positive things that can be taken from this lecture, from the use of the magnetotelluric method.
I'm hoping with this question you can kind of paint the listeners a picture of what you see the future of this method being. So please finish this sentence. When the magnetotelluric method reaches its full potential, it will
aid in the workflow of several applications, from oil and gas, mining, and engineering, to reduce the exploration environmental footprint, helping optimize the surveys, and to help the energy transition by helping design of wind and solar farms, for example.
You know, I always like to close with these couple questions here to just get your insights and experience and expertise in this industry. You know, what is one piece of advice that you would offer someone that would like to succeed in your field?
Well, I think you have to be very knowledgeable of what you're doing. So I think choosing a group to work with, you have to understand the method very well. And I think you have to be very focused and also open-minded. I think recently what I discovered is that MT, people had this view of MT, and by working with it, I discovered, by opening my mind and talking to different people, talking to different areas in different fields, I discovered other applications for magnetotelluric that people had not thought about before. So I think the main thing is to be open-minded and talk to different groups, and always look to try to solve the problem, to look like what is needed to solve the problem. And I think that's a good way of succeeding.
I love that you started that sentence with recently. It just shows that you're still always learning no matter where you're at in your career. And that's awesome. So lastly, if you could solve just one mystery as a geoscientist, what would you solve?
One mystery of the geoscience. To be honest, I think this is a very hard question, because there are so many questions. But maybe I think I would like you to use MT, but this would be more like an academic question, right? There's so many questions about the core of the Earth, or of how the deep parts of the Earth really are structured. So I think with MT we can answer these questions. And one example is the example of using MT in Australia. I think that was very nice that they use MT to look where are the sources of mineralization. They used MT for that. So I think we can use MT to look at the sources of our resource. That's one of the questions I would try to answer with this method, with magnetotellurics.
Well, that is a great response. Is there anything else you would like to share? Any questions maybe that I did not ask you?
What I would like to share probably is that I think geophysics needs to take like a different path. I think we should look more how to integrate geophysics into the renewable energies, because that's the future. I see still a lot of emphasis on some old methodologies, and I think we should use more the geophysical methods, not only magnetotellurics but others, to help lower the impact in the environment. And that's what I've been trying to do. Actually, what I would like to say is that I graduated in environmental engineering, and then I went into exploration, and now I'm trying to use what I learned in geophysics to help improve the environment. I think that's a concern of everybody.
Well, that is a wonderful place to leave it. I appreciate your time, Patricia, and sharing about this lecture, and look forward to having people take it and learn some amazing things and amazing work that you're working on. So thanks again for your time.
Okay, thanks, Andrew.
Thank you for listening to SEG's flagship podcast. Please share this episode with a friend, colleague, or manager that would enjoy hearing this episode. Your recommendation is the single best action you can take on behalf of SEG's podcast. Go to our website at seg.org/podcast to find all our episodes and learn how you can listen to this podcast directly on your phone without downloading an app. Original music by Zach Bridges. This episode was hosted, edited, and produced by me, Andrew Gary. The SEG podcast team is Jennifer Crockett, Allie McGinnis, and Mick Sweeney. Thank you for listening. This is Seismic Sound Off, signaling off.